The Lexus LS has been the flagship for Lexus ever since 1989 when the brand started as a premier luxury division of Toyota, mainly as a United States brand, but they've grown to countless countries at this point, and now they're revealing the new ES, not in North America, not in Japan, not in Europe, but in China, where the ES reigns supreme for sales out of Lexus. But the wording here has raised some alarms about the Lexus LS and its future. Is the ES going forward the true flagship vehicle for Lexus, or is it just semantics? If you guys missed yesterday's video where I broke down this 8th generation ES from the side images to all the teasers that we got as well through the videos, make sure to check that out. There's going to be an F Sport Performance model, at least from what we saw. It's got a fastback looking like roofline, which I don't know how to feel about it. It's going to be fully battery electric, at least at launch. It's going to be so much different than the current ES, for better or for worse. All right, the V6 is gone. Check out yesterday's video. Also, make sure you are subscribed because I might be staying up late on April 23rd. It might be something like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night Eastern time when they reveal the ES at the Shanghai International Auto Show. I'll do my best to get it to you guys in a timely manner. But I might just push it to the next day. We'll see. Details of the all-new ES, a global flagship model. Not just for China here. They're saying it's a global flagship for Japan, for Europe, for North America, that refines advanced electrification technologies and pursues further evolution of its hallmark, quietness and ride comfort. The ES is very quiet, very smooth, very comfortable. It's a great luxury sedan. We will have an announcement in just a few days. All right, does this mean that the new ES, as a global flagship, does that mean the LS can be put to rest as the flagship model? This is from the press room here in North America, but if you go to the press room in Japan, they still call this ES a global flagship model. So with that being said, Motor One started tackling this, and I'm going to put my own thoughts about what they discovered. They're saying that the LS is not dying. I'm not going to say that. I'm saying it's a possibility it gets its life extended, but let's read into what they're saying and why they came up to the conclusion that they think the LS is not dead. Patrick Scheelen, senior manager of Lexus Communications in Europe, confirmed there is no intention for LS discontinuation globally. Isn't that ironic? Because isn't the LS dead in much of Europe? I know in Britain it has been canceled there, and the sales of it are not good. Leanne Sessions, I know her fairly well. Ever since I've been doing Lexus press events, Leanne's been on the Lexus team, and she's senior manager of Lexus Communications in North America. And she said in Japan, the word flagship means that it is a core model for the brand, and that the ES fits the description as it was launched at the same time as the LS, and it is one of our best-selling models globally. It is the best-selling model in China, the ES. There's a bit to unpack here. Well, the multiple meanings of flagship is a bit, I don't know, careless for Lexus to use this word. If it means different things in different places, then using it in a press document, amping up a new reveal might not be the best usage of the word. Looking it up from Oxford Dictionary on good old Google, the flagship means, well, you know, the ship in the fleet which carries the commanding admiral, but it is the best or most important thing owned or produced by a particular organization. Them using the word flagship with this ES reveal tells me that this is the best and most important thing produced, at least on the sedan side, by Lexus. The LS is no longer the flagship. Does that mean the LS will be discontinued? It doesn't mean that. It just means the new ES will catapult far beyond where the LS currently is. And you know, the LS is a shadow of its former glory in terms of sales, in terms of comfort and luxury. It's smaller on the inside than the ES in many ways. you know, the peak LS was LS 430. The LS 400 was a marvel. LS 430 took it to the next level, and LS 460 wasn't quite as good in some ways. And the LS 500 twin turbo V6 is a shadow of its former self. That's my opinion. You guys can agree to disagree, or, you know, have your own opinions on the current LS, but the sales are not good. I mean, I think Motor One gave us the sales here. Audi A8 trailed the LS last year in the United States. That sold 1,600 units. Lexus sold 2,100 units. S-Class sold 8,800 units, and the 7 Series sold 10,000 units. What's the point of keeping this vehicle around when it sells so little? Well, the R&D, I mean, it doesn't cost them anything probably to keep making it if they're able to keep selling the small amount that they keep making. All right. So the thing is, this article and what Lexus is saying is that they're essentially not ready to confirm the LS is dead. All right. There's no intention for LS discontinuation globally. Well, that's the here and the now. What about next year or the year after? Just because the sedan might go away doesn't mean the LS naming would go away. They can recycle this into a crossover, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And the thing is, like, in Japan, the flagship means that there's a core model of the brand. I mean, what does core model of the brand mean, right? We have to keep asking for these definitions. Does a core model mean the best-selling model, or one of the best-selling, the top 5 selling model in the lineup? The LS is far from it. Outside, it's the second worst selling, maybe third worst selling. The RC might be worse selling than that. We know the LC doesn't sell as well as the LS, and the LC and the ES are both, in my opinion, far more important than the LS at this point. But anyways, don't want to get off the rails here. The ES is a core model. Yes, it's been a core model since the brand came along in 1989. The LS used to be a core model. I don't think it's a core model anymore, and therefore maybe, according to Leanne's definition for over in Japan, the LS has lost its flagship status. It's not a core model. It's not important for Lexus anymore. It is not selling at the volumes, not even close to what it once did. It used to sell like 50,000 in the US, something like that, but it's selling 2,000 right now. So it's selling 1/25th of what it used to in its heyday. The ES still sells well stateside. It's one of the best-selling luxury sedans in the United States. And the ES is not going away anytime soon. You got to keep in mind, Lexus wants to be fully electric by 2030 in China, Europe, North America. Will they actually? I don't know. But the ES fully electric at launch, remember, it will come out with a hybrid shortly after. Them saying that they're very serious about BEVs is one way to do it, with launching their core model, their new flagship model, as an EV. Okay, so let's talk about what the LS could become. All right, the LS as a sedan, I mean, I've heard from dealers, not directly, but I've done my research. People pointed me to dealers being quoted saying that the LS is going to be discontinued and replaced by the ES. That's been going around for about a year now. You guys can believe what you want. I can't say without a shadow of doubt that is the case, but my gut is telling me that's probably the case, that the ES is taking over the duty of the LS going forward, at least the traditional sedan form of the LS. What could Lexus do with the LS naming? Well, I think they would have to call it something else if it's no longer a sedan. We look around the world too. The LM minivan for Lexus is, well, it probably easily outsells the LS in many markets in Asia, the LM. All right, as a luxury VIP chauffeur machine. And then you also have the Century SUV. Lexus could, and when I've talked about it on the channel, Lexus could absolutely badge the Century, not as a Toyota, but as a Lexus in many markets. Again, check out the trademarks. Lexus could absolutely come out with the Century, make it a Lexus Century. I know you guys might be saying Buick had a Century, and that's not a good thing. But overseas, the Century's being sold at Lexus dealerships in the Middle East, even though technically it's a Toyota. I mean, it sits above Lexus. The Century is above Lexus, but for the United States market, I think it would make sense for them to brand the Century as a Lexus Century, as well as use the Phoenix badge. Keep the Phoenix badge, the handcrafted metalwork. Phoenix badge would be fantastic. And it would be like, whoa, what am I looking at? Oh yeah, that's the new flagship Lexus, a true flagship. The ES is not a true flagship. In America, like a sedan is never going to be a true flagship anymore, at least in the traditional sense. It has to be a state-of-the-art crossover. I know that the Genesis G90 is also a flagship for the brand. That's until Genesis comes out with their flagship SUV. That will cost more. All right. We look at the Bentley Bentayga, the Cullinan. Those are very expensive flagship SUVs as well. While there might be more expensive vehicles in those brands, it's a flagship, no doubt. So let me know what you guys think. You know, there wasn't a lot to report on today. And so you guys know how passionate I am about Lexus. So I wanted to run with this, give you my thoughts. The LS could absolutely live on. The chances of it living on as a sedan in the form that we know it is slim to none. When it would be canceled, I would say in the next 2 years. That's just my gut. Believe what you want. Now, it would make more sense if Lexus doesn't want to kill the LS naming to evolve the LS. Make the ES and the IS the sedans. The IS is the sporty sedan. The ES is going to be fast as hell. Now it's a BEV. It's sporty enough, whatever. Comfort and luxury is what's most important with the ES. That will be the more luxury end of the sedans. Okay. And then the LS, evolve it. Evolve the LS into the Century. I don't know how they would do that, but they could do it. Evolve the LS into what could have been the LQ, the LF1 limitless concept, but it would be fully battery electric at that point. And I don't know. The LS is it's a remnant of the past around the world, if it's still available in your market. It's a remnant of the past, and the ES still excellent all these years later. It's never had a major misstep. The ES has always been nothing short of excellent, in my opinion. Comfort, price to performance, price to luxury. And it's always embodied that old school Lexus feel. The LS abandoned that old school Lexus feel with the last generation. Maybe you could argue the last 2 generations, but especially this most recent generation. The ES is a better luxury sedan than the LS, and it costs half as much. I'm going to end it there. I love the LS. I love the history of the LS. The new LS, it's a beautiful car. It's a beautiful car inside and out, but it's never felt special. I remember driving one for the first time after driving V8 LSs, and the twin turbo V6 they've improved it, but when I first got it, when it first came out around 2018, the idle was rough on the twin turbo V6. And this is the same engine, guys, in the LS, and maybe a slightly different derivative that is causing so many issues in the Tundra and the Sequoia with that engine just breaking and leaving people stranded. Not saying it's doing it in the LS, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are instances that it's happened. I'm going to give the LS 2 more years before they evolve it or discontinue it completely. Let me know what your thoughts are. I could talk all day about the LS, probably in a live stream, so I could bounce ideas off of each other, answer some questions. You guys could answer some of my questions. April 23rd, late at night, the 22nd. It'll be late at night, the 22nd, where I'll be streaming this. So 10 p.m. Just awfully late for me. I'll see you guys in the comments. Have a great day. Long live the flagship LS. And maybe I won't shed too many tears if this new ES is truly special. Yeah, it's an EV. It's going to be good. But is it what people want? I'm not sure. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Peace out.